Hi guys, welcome. So finally 5v5 is back and we are in week 1 round 1 and I'm going up against Iron Baker. Now obviously this season is going to be different because finally Malgus is here in his in the proper 5v5 GAC format, and he's obviously a beast, as you guys are going to see it later in this video. Yeah, so it was actually fun because when I was doing my attacks, my opponent attacked as well. So I've switched up my defense. I still went on heavy as usual. So I set gas, I then slicker, and also Lord Vader with Maul and Candrace. Now I went with the that Iden team supposed to be giving a problem to Wampa, sometimes, not always. So as you guys can see, yeah, my Malgus team was kind of a beast. Let me pause the video for a sec, just to explain it. So because I had a level 9 set Datacron, is the one with the recovering health and protection. I was like, I know it seems like a weaker Malgus team, but my goal was like, if I set the Datacron, especially because I have the level Relic 9 set, that could cause problems for Imperial troopers. And yeah, so I was like, that Malgus team up top, since I have him at Relic 9, and also I have his Datacron as well. I was like, he can handle his own, and at the very least, my opponent probably can burn a couple of banners on it. So that was the idea behind it, and we will see at the end how he did. But yeah, at the moment he was already 5 battles in. But despite the fact that my opponent only had a 9.4 million account, he always likes to play heavy on defense, which if you guys saw my last week, final week of the 3v3 season, you guys can see that, saw that, yeah, it can cause problems. So yeah, going back down south, I set Traya as well, and he managed to get a hold, and then Mon Mothma and Sortie. Now, as for ships, I haven't really changed much. I went with my usual setup, like Executor, Malevolence, and Trakin. So let's have a look at his defense, because it's going to be a good match for you guys to watch. So he set Inquisitors. He doesn't have the Grand Inquisitor, Sortie, Dash, and Rey Malak. Now obviously the idea behind the Rey team is they're trying to stop Starkiller, but you can still beat her with Starkiller, even though Malak being there. So that's a really strong Malgus comp. JML, Gas, and then JMK. So he set 3 GLs. Now I was like, I want to work on top. I want to try to take out the 2 bottom top zones, and then based on how he does, I might don't actually need to open his south back zone. At least that was the plan. Okay, so this Wampa battle, you guys saw me do this many times before. There is a timeout risk, so what you want to do is put it on full auto as soon as possible, and every now and then you need to take it off from auto and use his first special, because for whatever reason the EI doesn't do that. Let's just skip for a sec.
A few moments later.
Yeah, because you guys know how it does, and it was just I don't want to waste your time with this. Eventually Wampa's damage ramps up, then you can take out Sortie, and that's pretty much it. So 78, that's a good start. Now the next up is I decided to use Qui-Gon. Luckily Qui-Gon immediately died, so now it's just about I need to kill the rest of them. All the damage dealers were done, so yeah. By the way, if you guys like GAC content, that's what my channel is all about, so please subscribe to my channel. We are getting really close to the 900 subscriber mark, and I really do appreciate your support. So yeah, against these Inquisitors I decided to use Traya with Barris. Barris being there is because they can these guys can take a lot of turns back to back, and it's just Barris is there for insurance. So yeah, slowly but surely they're going to kill themselves because all the out of turn attacks. And assists, so after that I think the only reason I took Sidious in because I used a level 7 or 8 Datacron. I'm not quite sure about it, but yeah, I just wanted to have somebody who can actually benefit from it. Barris is not looking good, by the way, but luckily I was able to well, she was able to save herself. After that it's just basically just a cleanup. Now this is by the way a top 50 bracket, because I finished the 3v3 season inside the top 50, I think around the 48th or something like that. So yeah, my opponent is a really good player if you manage to get up here. Obviously GP is not everything. He had you guys can go back and check at the beginning of the video. I always put that compare sheet, so mods and everything. He has a really solid account based on his GP. Okay, so 3 down, and yeah, I decided to use JML against Rey, because I'm going to talk a bit more about it a bit later on once we go down to the south zone. So here he's Rey. He had the alt charge, not the plus 25%, 75% alt damage. So yeah, this is it's supposed to be pretty straightforward. Now the interesting thing about it, I have the same level 9 Datacron, by the way, on my Rey as well, and for me, if you can set the right team, this alt charge Datacron, I think it's better than the plus 75% alt. So obviously, because Malak is dark side, we can still kill him, even though Rey was in her ultimate. So now I just need to go all in on Rey. And also Jolie is here for insurance. Now that was unfortunate that we only triggered her DR so far into the battle, and because of her alt charge, she's going to go into alt again. And I know I said that we can, well, you can control the battle with this team, but the more she goes into her ultimate, the bigger it will hit, and you don't really want to do that. So the main goal of this team is just kill everybody as soon as possible. So Rey needs to take a turn. You see, we almost lost GMY. Really not good banners. Okay, so as you guys can see up top from his score, he managed to push through. So yeah, as I mentioned it earlier, I wanted to clean up the top. Now, he had set the triple attacker, negotiator and Trakin. That's a really strong defense. Now, Finalizer is not good against that triple attacker comp, so but Rebels should be able to handle it if you get the right RNG. So yeah, I decided to use Rebels there, and then do negotiator mirror, and then against Tarkin, I wanted to use Finalizer. That was the plan, and it looks really solid though. So let's jump straight into the Rebels versus Executor. Now you want to take out IG-88 as soon as possible. That's the goal, your main goal. So target IG, second, do a wiggle, and then IG is gone. So I was like, okay, that's good. There, you see, I might made the mistake about keeping Biggs alive, because he died anyway. I might have been better off using a mass assist on RC. Because now I was thinking about, do I need a tank, or on hindsight I probably should have called in Phantom. Because Y-Wing is really not doing anything. I was trying to use the AoE to take out Xanadu Blood, so I lost my second tank. Executor just healed back RC, sorry, Xanadu, and yeah, and that's going to be a loss. So I was like, okay, great. The only fleet I have is Raddus, pretty much, but to clean this up with Raddus, you really need the right RNG, and also you're going to need like Executor's AoE to be on cooldown. But the problem is I had no ships left to spare Mace, basically to check for cooldowns. So anyway, because he only had an R8 negotiator and I was faster, so I just decided to use a straight up mirror without using a TIE fighter. But I almost lost Snips, which is not great, because every banner counts. So yeah, there's nothing much to say about this really. The key thing of this battle for every mirror is you want to take out Anakin as soon as possible. At the very least, you need to get him into yellow, because then Negotiator, rather than starting with its mass assist, it's going to use the unending loyalty. I mean, that AoE was a waste because everybody had days. But yeah, 69. So yeah, here's that Raddus cleanup that I decided to use, because I was like, I only had around 20% chance, probably, maybe even less, of winning this. But I wanted to save Finalizer against Trakin, because Raddus has no chance against Trakin. But yeah, as I was about to say that at the beginning, that I wasn't sure that where the cooldown was of its Executor's AoE, and it was up, so it was already game over. And was like, maybe I can reach the ultimate bond. I was like, nah, that's not going to happen. Yeah, still 6 turn away. There's no way that I'm surviving 6 turns. Yeah. And that's it. So I was like in his mercy at the moment, because obviously if he 4 clears, then he can win. So at the very least I would needed to take out his Empire, but this battle is always really dicey. So what I like to do is I put the Hunted on Darth Vader. Normally I always go to Bomber and do a basic, but for whatever reason I decided to go with the big hit on Darth Vader. That I went for the kill basically, but it didn't happen, and now suddenly second sister came in, and yeah, she has some really big damage. So as a TIE fighter, that's annoying. So I already lost special forces. I just go all in on bomber. It managed to dodge a couple of hits. There goes shuttle, which is really bad. Now here I decided to use the AoE, and luckily I was able to take out both of them, both Bomber and Darth Vader. So now there's a slight chance. Well, look at that. I went for the big hit, and of course there was a dodge. There's always at least one dodge. I mean, and I lost Echelon, so I was like, okay, great. I might not be able to clear this fleet either. So I was like, let's go JC in, because at the very least we have an assist, call to assist, and we can take out second sister. So we might have the chance with Trakin to clean it up if we have to. But Silencer was able to stay alive, and luckily the second time with the big hit I was able to take TIE Fighter out. So now I was able to one-shot it for 60 banners. I was like, wow. Ships, you gotta love them, man. Okay, so here's the thing. My 7th sister was faster than Rex. Let me pause it for a sec, just because you guys need to be aware of if you want to use this counter, there are a couple of things you need to really pay attention to. Number one is something that has to do with the Grand Inquisitor. It gives 25 speed to the rest of the Inquisitors, and also removes 25 speed from the opponents. Now that's one thing. The other thing is Rex's speed. Rex gain 4% after every single 501st alive, which is in the 501st team, including himself, is going to gain 20%. So let's see, his Rex was at around 518, like on top of my head, that's something around 385 ish. So that's really fast, but you need to take out 25 from that, so that's around 360. My 7th sister speed was at 355 ish, and I also had the Datacron, because the one that every time an Inquisitor uses his or her special, 2nd sister takes an extra turn. Now they had a Datacron as well, the level 6 Galactic Republic stun. So obviously you really need to keep them under control, because once they stun the wrong person, it could be game over. So with that in mind, so I used 7 Sisters second special, first special, and as you guys can see, they went, and they immediately stunned the 9th Sister. Now my 2nd sister is Relic 7, so he can deal, she can deal some damage, and I was able to sit Rex down. Now it's important that after that you go after Rex, because once he uses his first special, he can give turns to the rest of the clones, and you really don't want that for multiple reasons. One is because once the clones start going, it will speed up the process of gas standing back up. So you really want to. Here probably I made a mistake as well, because I should have killed him with the special. That way 2nd sister would have got an extra turn. I wanted to remove his turn meter, by the way. That's why I did what I did. I was always looking at my team's turn meter and at the same time gases. And look at that, 62, one shot. If you can control the battle and you get the speeds right, this is a pretty straightforward battle. But yeah, once again, you need to know what you are doing. Now, I still had C and JMK, but after what happened with me in the 3v3 season, even though I had the Datacron, C Datacron, I wasn't trusting C to handle this JMK comp with the repost. So I went with JMK, and look at that, we are not looking really good. And in order for me to win, or have a chance to win, I needed to open his back zone. Now I have the Galactic Republic stun and Datacron, so I was trying to control them. I was debating if I should stun GMY or Jolie, even though I wanted to kill Jolie first, but he had the higher turn meter, so that's why I went after Jolie first. Now delete Jolie so they cannot revive even if things go bad. Now we can ignore taunt because we reached our ultimate. And now it's just about trying to clean it up. Now, Shakti is really tanky. I have no idea what happened here. Like, I called multiple mass assist, and she just took it. Okay, so yeah, it was really scary at the beginning, but now it's just 5v1, so it should be pretty straightforward. But yeah, JML is still tanky. Okay, so yeah, since I used JMK against JML, I had to use C versus his JMK. Now, in this fight, I'm sure many of you guys know this, you want to give the health tag to C, because whenever JMK goes into ultimate, he can ignore protection, and on top of that, he had the data crown, which ignores, which gives this ability to the rest of his team while in their ultimate. Now, what you want to do is give the 2 ignore buff. Now you guys can see I used basic to cleanse the stun. That way Armorer was able to hand out the 2 ignore buff to see. Because if I would put down the DPS stack on Armorer, then she just took a turn, but she would have lost her turn meter. So yeah, that's just something to pay attention to. So yeah, I had the level 9 C data crown, the one with the increase half based on his relic level, and it really did made a lot of difference. Like, I was talking about this live on Twitch, which, by the way, if you guys want to have a look at, if you guys want to join me while I'm recording this battle, there is a link in the video's description to my Twitch channel. I'm always happy to talk about things, and if you guys want to see some in-depth gameplays, that's the better place to be, because this is only like a highlight. I normally stream for around 2 hours. So yeah, if you pay attention to C's health, like, it's barely moving at all. And they all can ignore protection, by the way. Now, I probably made a mistake here, by the way. I just wanted to point out that by no means I'm perfect or anything. So I always like to help teaching you guys about this. I probably should have linked JMK, because that way he could have lost his protection. So it took me a while to chew through, and he can still recover extra protection. But yeah, once it's 1v1, we should be fine. And yeah. So now, I'm sure many of you guys, let me pause this, because it's going to be a bit longer explanation about this, because I'm sure many of you guys who will see the title of this video, you guys want to join this match and see how it does, because obviously Malgus is the new team, the new A team in the game, which is really. So first of all, I want to put a disclaimer out. This is by no means the strongest Malgus team. So just because it works now, it doesn't mean that it's going to work against really strong teams. Like, there is that Malgus is only R8 with 2 Omicrons. He's missing his unique, and that set is only R5. But I still have really strong faith in this team. But I'm sure many of you guys are struggling to do the math on Malgus's lead. So basically, Malgus, if he has the lead Omicron, and if he goes in with a full Sith Empire, Sith team, he gained around 150 extra speed. And it comes from multiple sources. So basically the Talon being there, she gives 20 speed. Malgus's lead Omicron gives 60, so that's 80 already. There is an extra 30 from Malgus's other lead, which is like 110, and then for each Sith Empire ally, Malgus is gaining an extra 10 speed. Now, because Talon is not a Sith Empire ally, in this comp he only gained 40. So I was actually wrong. He didn't gain 150, he gained 140, which meant that he was even that way he was faster than my Mara Jade. So let's jump into battle, and I'm going to try to explain a bit more about what happened. There is a bit RNG, so Malgus will go first, and you really don't want him to hit Mara Jade, which he can't because of Juhani's taunt. So now you need to start the turn meter train. There is no Malak, so we can gain turn meter. I probably should have kept using basics, because by getting the offense up, that's great, but I removed all the shocks from the field, which meant I slowed down my own turn meter train, so they were able to go. Now I used the special because that forces a taunt on Juhani and also a DI. So even if a big hit coming in from Malgus, that would have saved it, but unfortunately they removed it, and I just keep using that for his Visas's second special for defense penetration. As long as they have debuffs, by the way, thanks to your Starkiller's unique, they can deal 50% less damage. So it's really, really important to keep debuff on them. Every single one. Like now there is no debuff. Luckily Starkiller was able to reach his ultimate, but we only killed one person. But luckily, now that Starkiller reaches ultimate, he can hit a lot harder. Always keep in mind, guys, if there is a shock on the field, on somebody, that tank cannot gain taunt. So now it's just 1v1. It's really important to keep shock on Malgus, because without shock he can regen health. And he's also immune to healing immunity, so that does nothing. Obviously this counter, if Malak is in this team, then it's going to be a whole different ball game, but I still have faith in my comp. What I'm going to do, probably I'm going to take Starkiller to R9. I know he's not a tank, but that extra damage, I think it's worth it. So yeah, so I was expecting at least one GL at the back, but it looks like rather than sticking his original strategy, he kept 3 GLs for offense, and yet he still fed a lot of time. So I was really happy with my defense. So once I saw that he only has like trash at the back. I was like, okay, great. I can clear his ground, even one-shotting it, which I was really proud of, because there is really no spoiler alert here. I mean, I'm sure you guys, if you guys watching, based on what I still have, there's nothing really difficult here. So Bad Batch with Shakti can easily one-shot Mon Mothma. I still had JKR with JKR because I was expecting a slicker at the back. I mean, this is an overkill. And JKR can take a lot of turns. Speaking of JKL and JKR, I know a lot of players trying to use Best Elite JKR with JKL against Malgus, but it's not really looking good so far from what I saw. So if you guys planning to use that, I would advise against it, but obviously it's your choice, guys. At my level, again, inside the top 100 or top 50 even, where every battle really counts, wasting a Basti and JKR is just way too expensive for me. So I'm not going to try to use that unless something really changes with modding and stuff like that. So yeah, I still had CLS. That's the good reason about good thing about using Inquisitors against gas, because you still have your CLS at your disposal to use them. And yeah, that was it. And going into the final result, he failed a couple of times. Well, he failed once against my Executor, and then also he couldn't take out my Rey. And yeah, that was it. I was really happy with this guy because I was fairly confident after not clearing his ships with that RNG thing that I would fail. But yeah, I was able to win, and now I move up into the top 40. I'm going to face somebody with R9 Malgus, so it's going to be really interesting to see what can I do against him. So as I mentioned it a couple of times in this video, guys, if you are looking for GAC content, then please subscribe to my channel. Also like and share it. That's what I do. I'm a really passionate GAC player. I'm also in the Mode 1, which is the #1 guild in the game, based on GP, and we are really TW focused guild as well. So I'm really into PvP. Yeah. So see you guys on next time. I will be live on Saturday on Twitch. Once again, if you guys want to join me live, there is a link, 2 links in the video's description. One for my Twitch channel and the other one for my Discord, where we can continue to chat about things. I'm online most of the time. So yeah, until the next time, see you guys. Bye.